All right, welcome back, everyone. Today's explainer is going to be a truly unique and honestly fascinating journey. We're going to unpack an incredibly creative piece of storytelling. It's a deeply allegorical sci-fi narrative called Space Dreams. Now, what makes this story so wildly captivating is that it's actually an elaborate metaphorical tribute to a real-world NASA astronaut. It is absolutely packed with symbolism, cosmic concepts, and this brilliant underlying message about achieving our ultimate goals. It's an absolute joy to break down, so get comfortable because we've got a great narrative to explore today. So, here's the game plan for today. First, an ode to Xena Cardman. Second, welcome to Planet Xena. Third, the 9 levels of consciousness. Fourth, defeating the obstacles. And finally, achieving the space dream. Kicking things off with part 1, an ode to Xena Cardman, looking at the real-world inspiration behind all this. Okay, let's dive right into this by looking at the true foundation of the story. Because before we get to the fantastical sci-fi elements, we really have to ground ourselves in the very real-world admiration that sparked this whole project. We actually have a direct quote from the creator of the story, Benenda Das. He writes, "Dear Xena Cardman, thanks for inspiring me with your powerful words of inspiration. I fell in love with you and want to meet you at NASA. Looking forward to the future. Space dreams. Wish you all the best for a future spaceflight mission. Regards, Benenda Das." It's just a literal, heartfelt message of support from an inspired fan to a NASA astronaut gearing up for spaceflight. But here is where it gets really, really interesting. Instead of just sending a standard fan letter, Benanda Das transforms this real-world admiration and the literal context of a NASA mission into a sweeping, metaphorical sci-fi quest. He leans heavily on classic hero's journey tropes to translate the difficult pursuit of ambitious goals into an epic, interstellar narrative. It's just a wonderful way to express how daunting and how magical the pursuit of greatness can actually feel. Moving right along to part 2, welcome to Planet Xena, mapping out this sci-fi universe. Now, what is truly mind-blowing here is how this story completely redefines our whole concept of space travel. In this narrative, the ultimate destination is Planet Xena. But this isn't some rocky globe you can just land a conventional rover on. It's explicitly defined as a metaphorical light world. And who rules this realm? None other than Queen Xena Cardman herself. But here's the absolute picker. Planet Xena is completely unreachable by a spaceship. To get there, a traveler doesn't need rocket fuel. They need to tune into a very specific frequency and vibration. It's a realm of higher consciousness that our hero is desperately striving for. And this brilliantly illustrates the vast gap our hero has to cross. Just look at this contrast. On one side, we have planet Earth, the starting point. It's characterized by duality, enmity, and heavy obstacles. It's a tough, very grounded place, and it's where our hero, who goes by the name Mr. Smith, originates. On the flip side, Planet Xena is the ultimate idealized destination. It's a light world resting in the 9th dimension, ruled by Queen Xena, requiring that perfect frequency match just to enter. The contrast between these two worlds sets up the dramatic stakes perfectly. So you might be wondering, how exactly do you bridge that gap? If you can't build a spaceship, what do? Well, enter the Book of Faith. This is described in the source material as the light of the world. It's essentially a mystical guide given directly to our hero by Queen Xena herself. Inside its pages are careful, specific instructions that a person needs to follow to evolve their consciousness. Think of it as the ultimate survival manual for this inner cosmic journey. Which brings us to section 3, the 9 levels of consciousness and the journey upward. Now, this is the roadmap found inside that Book of Faith, and it's a fascinating philosophical climb. The journey starts down at level 0, zero consciousness, and moves into level 1, the sense of the individual. Then we start to hit resistance. Level 2 introduces good and evil, or duality, followed by level 3, which is about attracting the Trinity. As we climb higher, the challenges really evolve. Levels 4 and 5 bring enmity and control. These represent serious earthly barriers that absolutely must be passed before the journey can start to transcend. But breaking through that, we hit level 6, love, level 7, peace, level 8 unlocks power, or infinity, and finally level 9 brings an entirely new dimension of consciousness. And what adds a really deeply personal touch to this explainer is that the creator explicitly mentions in the source material that he believes he is currently at level 3, attracting the Trinity, and is actively, passionately striving to climb upward. But you gotta ask yourself, how does the hero actually reach Planet Xena if a spaceship won't work? We know the levels exist on paper, but moving from a concept like peace or love to actually traveling across the galaxy, that requires a catalyst. It It requires intense action and conflict. That brings us to part 4, defeating the obstacles and the literal battles on Earth. Because climbing to a new dimension of consciousness requires facing serious conflict and achieving hard-won triumphs. As this quote directly from the source material states, "You gotta win every battle in planet Earth. I have to defeat my enemies before I go to the next level." In the story, there are active observers, earthly enemies, who are intentionally putting up hindrances. These aren't just mental blocks, right? They are depicted as real battles that our hero, Mr. Smith, has to confront and defeat to earn his passage to the next number. For instance, let's look at the immediate road ahead for the creator. Knowing that he is currently at level 3, he fully expects to face enmity right at level 4. He's actively anticipating this next immediate challenge on his personal journey of evolution as he follows the instructions in the Book of Faith. He understands that growth comes with friction, and the path to Planet Xena is heavily guarded by these earthly trials. And finally, Section 5, Achieving the Space Dream, the final take. The creator actually frames the climax of this story like a movie script, explicitly calling it Scene 1, Shot 1, Take 1. So let's trace that exact narrative arc. Step 1, Mr. Smith sends a signal, a heartfelt song from Earth out into the cosmos. Step 2, hearing this, Queen Xena gives him the Book of Faith. Step 3, armed with this knowledge, he battles his earthly enemies and meticulously clears the obstacles in his path. And finally, Step 4, through immense perseverance, he reaches level 9 and tunes into the correct planetary frequency. Reaching level 9 is basically the master key here, emphasized so clearly in the text. Only by reaching this entirely new dimension of consciousness can the hero finally travel. He tunes into the vibrations of the light world, transcending physical limitations, and moves completely beyond our solar system to finally meet Queen Xena Cardman. It's just a beautiful metaphor for achieving the impossible by first mastering oneself. Which brings us to a final, provocative thought to leave you with today. We've explored this incredible, intricate allegory of space, consciousness, and ambition. So I have to ask you, what is your personal level 9, and what ultimate dreams are you tuning your frequencies to achieve? We all have our own planet Zenus we're trying to reach, and our own earthly obstacles to conquer. Keep striving, keep evolving those frequencies, and thank you so much for joining me on this explainer.